Hello and welcome to the first of many Pantherkitty guides. I am Somerset, and in this guide we will be leveling a Tauren Druid from character creation to level 20. This process will take about 90 minutes and full Heirloom Gear excluding the ring. You can pick whichever realm. As I have an army of druids on this realm, I will be leveling on the Venture Co. It is also cross-realmed with Maelstrom and my main realm, Lightning Hoof, so this gives me added benefits. When you have selected a realm, click the Create New Character button to select your hero. Here, selecting the female gender, we select the Tauren race and the Druid class. Click Customize as we name and customize our hero. Naming the hero looks harder than it really is. If you cannot think of a name, play with the Randomize button. I have a standard template when it comes to customizing my druids. Skin color 1, face 3, horn style 1, horn color 1, and Pantherkitty has no hair. When you are done, click Finish. If you have add-ons, best to check them now before loading in. With all that done, let's enter the world. The links to all the enabled add-ons are listed in the description. Once loaded, feel free to view the intro cinematic, or you can hit escape and click yes to start our journey. This add-on we see here is ELVUI. If you do not see the install menu right away, open the configuration page by clicking the C in the bottom right hand corner of the minimap, then click install to continue. Follow on screen as we set up the add-on. We click finish to reload the UI. If you have used ELVUI and have a profile, copy that using this menu. Using Shift P, on the Heirloom tab, select Balance and the gear to create them, ensuring that we get the haste shoulders. The Touch of the Void is from a level 100 garrison mission. Equipping our gear and placing the usable abilities on our action bar. Selecting a companion if you wish and placing that on the action bar. And if you're lucky enough to collect 35 heirlooms, you get a free chauffeur to drive you anywhere you want. Just some quick interface settings to change to make our leveling faster, enabling auto loot. I was looking for the buffs section, seems to have moved. If you have add-ons, you can switch to the add-on interface, changing auto turn in here to handle all the quests. Pick up the first quest by right-clicking Chief Hawkwind, and before we depart the village ensure your bags are empty. There is a general goods vendor and the hut to the right. Following the path east we are looking for Gruul Hawkwind. Good time to hit auto run and change your title. Pantherkitty first appeared during the Mr. Pandaria expansion, and her offspring has multiplied throughout this account, totaling 35 druids. Finding Gruul, turn in and pick up the next quest, which entails killing 6 invaders. Find yourself a nice spot where there is many in a 40-yard range, hit V to toggle the nameplates. Starting from one side, spam Wrath. With a global cooldown at 1 second and the spell having a 1.5 second cast, you can tab target or click the next creature to line up your next cast. The more you kill, the better. With the recent addition to Mr. Pandaria's expansion, we have area looting, so loot the dead creature in the middle of your massacre. It may not be much, but it does add up. Turning in to get some braces, the next quest, we need to free some imprisoned braves. Equipping the new braces and moving the hearthstone to your action bar, we head east to the thorny trees, as we will find 2 braves in cages under each. While we are here, we can sneak in a couple more XP by killing a few more invaders, as we want to be as close to level 14 as possible before we are sent off to Orgrimmar. Every little bit helps. Rescue the last 2 and head back to Gruul for your reward. We have done our work, and Gruul is sending us to aid Adana Thunderhorn to the southeast. With the last quest complete, we should be level 3 and now have access to the Moonfire ability. In the system settings under graphics, you can turn ground cluster to low if you are having trouble finding items on the ground. If you are level 3, Rohako Stonehoof has a quest for you regarding the Moonfire ability. Finding Adana, she looks worried as the thorns pollute the land. Also need to retrieve a few stolen rifles. Moving Moonfire from the spellbook to the action bar, we are going to move Wrath as it is no longer needed. Find a spot and spam Moonfire in the same fashion as Wrath, looting, then moving further up to kill another group. Again, the more we kill, the closer to 14 we will be. Heading back to Adana, where she will send us to kill some raw, flesh-eating battle boars and torch their troughs.
You wish to speak? We shall meet again. When's the act?
Rejuvenate is the most used spell on my druids. Keep it handy and equip your belt. Starting from one side, let's round up these boars, keeping in mind of directionality with spells. As we burn the troughs. Once the slaughter is over, head back to Adana, where she asks you to kill the leader of the Quill Boars, Chief Squealer Thornmantle.
Ah, I've been expecting you.
Heading west, we killed the 2 guards and pulled the chief towards his guards, loot your kills and half back to camp. Talk to Chief Hawkwind, and before completing first rite, the next quest, talk to Gart Mistrunner, the Druid trainer, to complete Verdant Note. As you accept the quest Moonfire, target the training dummy and click Moonfire to complete it. Then using the water pitcher to place your offering, we head up the mountainside to speak to Diami Windsaw. Placing cat form on the Grave Key keybound action bar, and after getting stuck on the ground like always, we find Bayami, who tells us to drink from the Water of Vision to gain a spirit guide to deliver us to Bloodhoof Village.
The winds guide you.
Guilds are great fun to be in. Even if you level in a non-active guild, you get little perks. One perk is Reputation, which is gained by completing quests while in a guild. When you get sufficient rep, you gain access to various items from the guild vendor located in major cities. A couple more perks to mention is Mass Resurrection and Mobile Guild Banking. As we land, jump into cat form and run for Amu Thunderhorn. And while we're in cat form, it's a good time to set up the action bars. Removing auto attack and pumping with the stealth, those tentacles cause damage to nearby enemies. Turning in Rite of the Winds, we go around the village collecting up all the quests so that we can help out our fellow Taurens. With such a low bag space count, remember to visit the vendors often. With the help of the add-on Auto Turn-In, we can click the quest givers as we drive along without stopping to accept them. This poor old rancher has lost his dog. Looking at the map and on the listings, we're heading to quest number 4, Sharing the Lands, where we kill 15 gnolls. Well, we found Kyle, the old rancher's dog. Seems we need to feed him. This hut holds a returned quest from Thunderbuff, a major city for Horde. It also houses the profession trainer. She is knowledgeable in every basic profession. Here we are going to train in the gathering professions, herbalism and mining. They cost 1 copper each, so it's a good thing we looted our kills. The secondary professions are cooking. This trainer is located at the back of this hut. The fishing trainer located on the river's edge west of the village. And the first aid trainer located at the inn. Right click the minimap and enable Find Herbs and Find Minerals. Turn in and accept Ride to Thunderbluff, but don't actually take the ride. Instead, head to the inn and set your hearth with Innkeeper Karth. Place yourself as close to this door as possible to save some time later.
Ah, I have just the thing for you. May the eternal sun shine.
Logging out for a moment to log into Oreo Cookies, I will be mailing over to Pantherkitty a weapon with Dancing Steel enchant, a chest piece with a stamina enchant on it, a cloak with critical strike and 10% movement speed enchant, shoulders with an agility and critical strike enchant, a neck piece with a critical strike enchant, and some pants with an agility and critical strike enchants. 4 30 slot bags, 5 burning seeds, a druid only item collected from level 85 raid the Firelands, and a glyph of travel. Logging back into Pantherkitty after adjusting her to the top of the list, we head to the mailbox and equip the bags, but not the gear, as this will come in later. We don't want to one-shot our enemies, we still want to pull them in close with Moonfire before they die. Adding a quick note regarding the system settings under graphics is particle density. If you are losing health or dying for no reason, you may be standing on top of something nasty. Turning this up to good or better will allow you to see these effects better at low performance cost. Heading southeast now to continue the quest Sharing the Land. The Burning Seed Druid only item turns you into an awesome fire cat while in cat form. The reason why we have equipped the Intel Heirloom Gear is because Moonfire and Wrath are both ranged spells, allowing creatures to gather close to us so that we can loot them faster. And seeing as we are using Moonfire mostly, we might want to add that to our cat form action bar for now. Following this path, we not only get all these quest done in one round, we can also find many exciting rares, which at this level gives a lot of XP and chances to drop bags for those starting fresh, and green transmog items that we can trade on the auction house to other players for gold, where you can vendor them. Make sure we pick up the item Tender Strider meat from the Plain Strider for Kyle the dog. Heading over to this little spot to check for a rare, and there he is, Snagglespear. And just killing only him to see what he drops. A 6 slot bag, awesome. Get rid of any aggro creatures you may have and head east, up the hill. Kill wolves for 6 pelts and plain striders for 4 talons, as well as collecting 8 quills from the swoops. And I have already collected enough paws, so I'll stop killing the poor wolves. When you have cleared your way to the middle of the Pelmain camp, circle around and kill them all. Head back to loot and cat form for added speed, and might as well equip the cloak with 10% movement speed enchant. Your choice if you want to pick the herbs and mines, I usually do. Clearing our way further east to collect some Wind Fury talons. With the Wind Fury so far apart, try and drag them together, picking a herb while we wait. After we are done with the Dangers of the Wind Fury quest, we should also have Poison Water and Sharing the Lands completed. With those 3 quests complete, we head northwest to the road, completing swoop hunting. Keep an eye out for a Kodo rare in the area, as great XP and a chance at a 6 slot bag. Across the road we find Flatland Cougars, which drops a femur that we need. Killing these 3 at once raises the chances the femur will drop in minimal time. At level 8 we gain Bear form, which from level 14 onwards is the form you will mostly see. Setting up the taunt on the keybind of Shift 1, we will set up the rest in Ogrimmar. Finding more in Cloudstalker, he asks us to examine the contents of a supply crate at the Ravaged Caravan. Head to the middle of the Ravaged Caravan and clear out every enemy in sight, then examine the supply box. Finding out it's property of the Venture Code Mining Company, they are attempting to rob the Taurens of their natural resources. We need to report back to Morin. Where he tasks us in slaughtering 7 workers and get Fizz Sprocket's clipboard. On the way over to the mines, pick some herbs for some added XP. Sorting the items we have collected to auction them later. As we head into the mine entrance, we moonfire everything in range. To find old Frizz, the super, just a few yards in. Kill him and loot on your way out. Keeping in mind there is a rare located just on the outside of the entrance which yields a 6 slot bag. Cat form reduces falling damage. Check your quests. Ensure you have completed at this stage Supervisor Fitzsprocket, the Venture Co, Swoop Hunting, Poison Water, Sharing the Lands, Dangers of the Wind Fury, Mazzranache, Ride to Thunderbluff, and the quest item Tender Strider Meat to feed Kyle the dog as we head back to Morin. Choosing the boots, then we head back to town. Heading to Mal Thunderhorn, keep an eye out for Kyle the dog so we can feed him. Get in front of him and use the Tender Strider Meat item to serve Kyle lunch. He howls, eats, and then dances. Turn in Poison Water, and heading back out southeast, we need to cleanse the Winter Hoof Well, a short trip. Head around turning in all the quests. Don't forget to vendor your trash items. We hit level 10, giving us access to class specializations. For now we are going to leave it alone as it will extend our leveling time, but we will be learning Guardian at level 14. Select and equip the braces, then head to the old rancher to make his day. Over the bridge to the right, we're going to kill stalkers and cougars for their claws. Keep an eye out for the rare Mazzranache in this area. Head back to Bloodhoof Village and turn in Thunderhorn Totem, then head back out to the same place and cleanse the well. With the well cleansed, we head west to calm some earth spirits. Here we target an earth spirit, play the drums to try and soothe it. We need to calm 6. If they are displeased with the noise, kill them. The drum item has a 5-second cooldown, but can be used on multiple spirits. Seeing as a Hearthstone is still on cooldown, we will head to Thunderbluff, as it is closer than Bloodhoof Village, where we can turn in the quest Ride to Thunderbluff. Seek out Innkeeper Parlour to set your hearth.
Well met. Be careful.
I will cover the Darkmoon Faire related buff in a moment. For now, complete the quest and head up the totem to the Flightmaster Tower, turn in and fly back to Bloodhoof Village. Hand over the leather goods to Varg and turn in the rest of your quests. Turning in the last cleansing quest in the area, selecting and equipping the gloves, we pick up the quest Rite of Vision from Mal. Speaking with Zolman 2 Moons, whom tells us to drink the water of visions again. After passing the Rite of Visions, pick up the quest here. If you require a vendor, talk to Scron Whitecloud.
What brings you here?
Heading north, we need to collect Flatland Prowler Claws and Prairie Alpha Teeth as we head to collect some feathers. While we collect the feathers, keep an eye out for the rare Sister Hatelash.
Blood and thunder.
Ensure we have completed preparation for ceremony before we head southeast to slay some interlopers as we continue to collect claws and teeth. Keep an eye out for the lion rare, the Rake, in this area. Looks like someone has recently been here. Usually I would roll up there as there is 9 to 11 interlopers on the way to the ancestral spirit, so we'll go the long way around. Once we have completed a sacred burial, talk to the ancestral spirit, then head back to camp. Ensuring we have all 4 quests complete before reaching camp: the Hunter's Way, Wild Mane Totem, preparation for ceremony, and a sacred burial. We have an unusual sight here on Adventure Cove. Another player in the leveling area. This warrior would have been the one that devastated the interlopers earlier, and congrats to him for the level. With all those turned in, equip your new gloves and waist, and the next quest accepted, we head out east to cleanse the well. And while we're here, keep an eye out for Ghost Hound, which drops a quest to hand into Scron. We do not actually need to kill anything here, so if you find someone like this warrior being well, complete the quest and head back to camp.
Greetings. Goodbye.
Peace, friend. Be careful.
Once we have cleansed all the wells, Una Wildmane sends us to Bane Bloodhoof, our Tauren leader, to inform him about the actions of the Grim Totem. We head east to the elevators, ride one of them to the top, head to the middle totem, and get off on the 3rd floor so we can talk to Bane. With Bane aware of the situation, he sends us north to aid his warriors sent earlier to drive the exiled Grim Totems out through Stone Talon Pass. I have absolutely no idea how I survived this fall, but do not jump off that cliff, and ensure that you hit cat form before you land. Seeing as we are on the last quest for the entire area, and not level 14, we need to kill a few more enemies. If your hearth is ready to use it to half back to Thunderbluff. If not, head to the elevators, then to Bane. After justifying his actions against the Grim Totem, Bane passes on the Earth Mother's appreciation for the brave deeds we have done, and that the people of Thunderbluff will always accept us. He sends us to Orgrimmar with the quest Walk with the Earth Mother, and tells us to present the Mark of Bloodhoof to Vol'jin, the current leader of the Horde. Taking a short detour to aid our leveling, we took to the Mystic Mage and pick up the Darkmoon Faire quest. Talk to the mage again to get ported to the staging area, or you can travel yourself to the staging area as located southwest of Thunderbluff. Feel free to use one of these mounts to take you down. Following the path, we find a massive fairground filled with lots of fun activities to do, rewards to gain, and special items to use. The Darkmoon Faire uses its own currency, Darkmoon prize tickets, which are gained mostly by doing these quests. Holding the Darkmoon Adventure Guide in your bag while we kill dungeon bosses may sometimes drop special books that you can use to turn in for XP, coin and prize tickets, or can be sold on the auction house. Before we can ride the carousel, we first need to buy some ride tickets from Katie. The lower your level, the cheaper these tickets are, and you can trade and mail them through other characters. The Darkmoon Faire is only in town 1 week per month, so plan your leveling around this time to gain a buff, which increases the experience and reputation gains by 10%. Once we have an hour on our buff, half back to Thunderbluff to continue our journey. When in Thunderbluff, head up the totem to fight Master Tal, where we ask for a free ride to Ogrima. While in flight, we can set up our 2 sets of gear. One will be for the off chance that we are required to queue as a healer, and the other for the guardian side. Turning the non-BioWare gear slots to ignore, as these pieces will be changed as we level. As we land in Ogrima for the first time, we took to Stoneguard Nargol, the Quartermaster, and buy an Ogrima tabard, which will gain us reputation with Ogrima while we level in dungeon. And we need to change one of our trinkets. Once we present Vol'jin the Mark of Bloodhoof, we have officially completed the Tauren starting area. And if you have followed my advice, we are now level 14 and have unlocked the ability Thrash. As we have finished with the starting area, it is time to properly set up our bars for tanking. That includes learning the Guardian specialization, which gives us 2 tank-only abilities, Maul and Savage Defense. Just a couple of things to set up before we head to our first dungeon. First we need to set our hearth. There are 3 innkeepers in Ogrima. This little Tauren area in the back here is just perfect on so many levels. The innkeeper can be reached from outside the hut. The bank and guild bank are located just a few steps away. On the other side of the banks sits a repair vendor and the auction house, all accessible without dismounting. Once we have a hearth set, we have emptied our bags at either the bank or the vendor, we head to Ragefire Chasm. Before we head in, ensure our gear and action bars are set up correctly. Ragefire Chasm can be soloed from level 10 wearing the leveling gear. This takes a lot of time and skill, but it can be done. Those who are not wearing enchanted BOA gear, please take a little more care than I do in this guide, as I have been soloing dungeons on druids for about 4 years. I know what this little tank can handle at each level. If you are not level 14 with Thrash, you again will need to take your time. And when I say take your time, cast Entangling Roots on one of the melee enemies, then taunt the others towards you. Ensure that at the start of every single pull, you cast Rejuvenate on yourself. If you use Entangling Roots, you can cast Rejuvenate on yourself before approaching the rooted target. Fight your way towards the first boss, and hopefully we reach level 15 before killing the dog that is playing with an orc that we need to rescue. Once we hit level 15, and we have done so before killing the dog, run back to the entrance and pick up the quests. If you're required to go further to level, ensure that you zone out of Ragefire Chasm, reset the instance, and zone back in. Don't forget to choose the Feline Swiftness talent, as this permanently increases movement speed of all forms by 15%. This first boss at low levels can be annoying. If you're having trouble, use the previous dog to gain rage, to use Savage Defense and more as we open on the boss. As a tank, we cannot avoid any of his abilities, but there is enough time to cast Rejuvenate between his attacks. Time this when you have no rage. For the quest No Orc Left Behind, there are a total of 5 orcs and all need to be found and rescued. As we head up the path, entangle the ravers as we quickly kill the casters. Use War Stomp when needed. On the second boss, the first phase we need to DPS him down as fast as possible. Don't worry too much about healing unless you're under level 14 without the BOAs, as in the second phase we need to avoid falling shadow spikes. It gives us heaps of time to heal up. If healing is not needed, avoid catching these falling spikes as they do a fair amount of damage to you. It does not matter which way you go, though it is always good to kill them all for XP. This third boss is rather easy. Avoid the lava spit by taking a couple steps to either side. Also to note that this boss has a chance to drop braces, which you will see I don't actually get to drop. If this orc is not the last one to rescue, go back and find others you missed. Last pack of mobs before the final boss. Remember to entangle the melee as we kill the casters quickly. The final boss is again rather difficult at low levels. When you get knocked back, hit cat form to gain some distance and cast Rejuvenate before heading back in bear form. With the dungeon over, turn in and we should be level 18. From here you can half out and dungeon queue for Dead Mines or Shadowfang Keep. For me though, I'll head back to the entrance, zone out, reset the instance and power through, attempting to not only get to level 20, but for another chance at those braces that never dropped. A couple of tips on the tank roll. They are the ones that poke fun at, insult, spit on and laugh at any enemy they encounter. They are the ones that take the beating. As a tank, your job is not to DPS or to heal, you laugh at the enemy, so when you have a chance to gain some distance from them, take it. If you get knocked back, let them come to you. In these dungeons, you will most likely be grouped with 3 DPS and a healer, so let the DPS and the healer heal. The tank protects everyone in the group from taking aggro to damage. If you happen upon a hunter or a warlock in your group, be mindful that new players don't actually know what a taunt is, so try not to blow your stack if a pet taunts. In some situations, having a pet taunting is useful as it lessens the amount of damage you take. Over the next 5 minutes, we will finish this last dungeon run, half out, briefly check out the auction house, go over vendable item, and for the last 3 minutes, we check and recheck the auction. Things do sell, so stick around to see what does and for how much. Every item sold can be found while leveling Mulgore and running Ragefire Chasm. And with that second run complete, we are now level 20 and are given the quest Learn to Ride. For now, we half as we visit the repair vendor and auction house. At the auction house, I use the add-on Auctionator and will show you briefly how to use it. Opening the auction house, we click on the new tab Sell and place an item in the open space. The add-on then scans all possible matches to said item and displays the current auctions. We then select the price by clicking on an existing auction or by providing a price manually. With the price sorted, we set the number of stacks and how many items are in each stack. And with that set up, we decide on the length of the auction. The longer the auction, the bigger the deposit and the auction house's cut of the sale. When we are happy with the listing, we create the auction. When it comes to vendoring items, there are a few things to look for. Firstly, anything grey can usually get vended. Next we vendor all the soulbound gear, any green quality weapons, offhands, necks, rings and trinkets. Feel free to use any ring as your level for added stats. From there, you want to vendor the food, drinks and potions. Be mindful on how much potions go for on your realm, as they can be worth the auction. If you are stuck on what to vendor and what to keep, have a look at my guild bank here for any ideas. This guild bank in gold value last counted reached over 250,000 gold if sold cheaply on the auction house. You will notice I brought back the ice cold milk and we will find out why in a moment. And in the past 90 minutes we have made just under 4 gold.
Be careful.
Tis a season to buy ice cold milk and auction them for insane amount of gold. Will they sell? Only time will tell. As you can see, I have made this guide during the Winter Vale holiday and have a use for the ice cold milk. If you are confused, you require a total of 6 milks to complete the quest for Father Winter. At which point, ice cold milk can go for ridiculous amounts of gold. You will soon see what I mean. In this round, no milk was sold, but we did sell the Peace Bloom for just under a gold each. I would like to thank those players who do not know there is an innkeeper near every auction house that sells ice cold milk for a little over 1 silver per 5 and instead buys mine for anywhere between 1 gold and 90 gold. If auctions do not sell, don't worry, either repost them, store them in your bank, or vendor them. Some realms like this one, the transmog weapons do not sell and their deposits are high, so I tend to vendor them. Other realms have a market for potions and food items, where this one again, there is no such market, so they get vended too. Talking transmog, most braces, cloaks and leggings don't sell here either. To have a general idea of what to sell, check out wellhere.com for their prices. If an item is more than 300 gold, I tend to hold on to them. Anything under 300 gold tend to get vended as they do not sell here. Your realm may be different, so use this as a guideline instead of a rule. The next couple of pictures will show you successful pre-level 20 auctions that do happen on this realm. Stay tuned, as next time we will be taking a look at how to run dungeons Pantherkitty style. I hope you enjoyed this guide. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for future videos coming soon.